Okay, so moving on. The next one of the stitches that we're going to do is called a back stitch. Back stitch is just a little bit more complicated version of the running stitch. It is more secure. It is a much better stitch to use if you are actually making a seam on a garment. It's a lot stronger than a running stitch, and you're going to see why pretty quickly that it is a lot stronger. So if you are repairing something of your own that a seam has popped out, or even if you think that you need to make an entire garment with hand stitching, back stitching is actually the stitch that you're going to want to do on it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We start out, I have one knotted piece of thread, just like I had explained earlier. What we're going to do is come up from the back on this. Okay, and we're going to go in this way. And if you look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go behind, and then I'm going to scoot out about the same length. Let me flatten this out for you so that you can really see what I've done here. I've gone in and I'm coming back out like this. All right, I'm going to pull on that, pull it through. Now for the second stitch, I am going to go back to where this first stitch is, right here. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to scoot out like this. Okay, see what I've done? I've gone in close to where that first stitch ends, scooted a little bit underneath, and come back out on the upper side. Pull through. Next stitch, I'm going to go in again. I'm going to go in where that first stitch ends, scoot a little bit, and come back up. Okay. What you'll start to see happening, see, this happens even to me. I'm going to show you, let me show you real quick what to do when you get a knot in your thread. I have a knot in my thread that's a looped knot. These are pretty common that you're going to get looped knot threads like this. And I will tell you, here's your secret for the looped knot thread. See how this looped knot is leaning this to my left, is leaning to the left on me. The way that you get this out, if you just pull on this, you're going to break your thread. And you're going to have to start over. Let's not do that. Just grab this with your needle and pull it backwards. Pull it to the right and you will see that it will pull completely out like magic. Pull it opposite of the way that it's leaning and the knot will undo itself. This is what I get for making my hand thread too long, trying to do samples. Anyway, we just continue along, go in, scoot along, like I said, like this, pull it through. So we have a continuous line here, pretty much a continuous line. If you look on the back side of it, in fact, there are two strands of thread happening at any given point there. It's like it overlaps and there are two strands of thread on the back. It's called a back stitch because basically you go backward before you go forward. And so you can see that obviously this is going to be stronger than a running stitch. You can tell because you've got a more solid line here. You've got, double threads on the back. You can see that that's happening. And so this is the stitch that you would be more likely to use if you were repairing something or actually trying to hand sew something that is going to be under like strain or under pressure. It's going to hold the fabric together a lot better. When you get done with this, I'm going to keep going for a little bit so that you keep seeing this happening. Keep going through here, back in, and over. Same thing with this stitch. You want each stitch to be somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. See how right now how my second thread is kind of just really close to the fabric. So I'm going to pull a little bit so that that gets back out of my way again. In and back through. Okay. And then when we get to the end of this, we do the same thing that we did on the running stitch. We do 3 stitches right on top of each other. And that is going to lock our stitch down. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm going to cut this thread and be done with this row of stitching. Okay, I'm going to mark this as back stitch. And back stitch is the second thing that we are going to learn. And then I will be back momentarily with the third.